Good morning, and thank you for tuning in for this virtual version of our annual senior sports breakfast. I appreciate this tradition because it is a good reminder of the value of teams and all of those individuals who make a difference in building those communities at MBA. I also appreciate the words our athletic director, Mark Tips, speaks at these occasions, reflecting for all of us the importance of high school sports and of relationships with families and with coaches and among teammates. This tradition has allowed two or three of our seniors to make some comments, and our athletic director, as I mentioned. This morning we are pleased to have Hedges Hayworth and Jack Larish and Brennan Roach speak about their experience on teams, and then of course Mr. Mark Tips. I hope you enjoy this presentation, and again, thanks for tuning in to this event.
Hey guys, Brennan Roach. Coach Tips asked me to say a few words about what being a part of NBA athletics has meant to me. I've been on the varsity hockey and varsity baseball team for 4 years, and it's truly been a highlight of my NBA experience. For hockey, we had so much success as a team. We went to 3 state championships, and every single one of those was just an incredible ride. You guys know we didn't win any, but it was still so much fun to be a part of those teams that went there and to be a part of those groups. And also another highlight of hockey was just getting to know Coach Deutsch and Coach Raines, and those are definitely two people that has just made my experience so much better than it would have been without them. Also this year on the hockey team, I really got a chance to lead as an assistant captain on the team, and I think that was just so much fun to be able to kind of carry on the tradition that I've seen from the years before me and carry that on to the younger guys on the team. Some of my favorite hockey memories was definitely the state championship this year. It seemed like there were 1,000 people in the building, and it was just so loud, and I skated out onto the ice. I'll never forget that. It was my last hockey game ever, and it was a heck of a way to finish my hockey career. And then with baseball, I'd have to say, second only to the school work I had to do at NBA, is the most time and effort I've ever spent on anything is to get better at baseball and to be the best baseball player I can be. And none of that is really possible without Coach Tips and Coach Anderson. They saw the passion that I had for the game, that all my teammates had for the game, and they really gave us a pathway to be successful and to do a lot of really great things as a team and as a group of friends. And friendships is really the biggest thing that I can think about with NBA baseball. Is I think all of my best friends at NBA are probably on the baseball team, with a few exceptions. But I think it's just a great time to be able to do that, to play baseball with my friends and to enjoy the thing I love with a whole bunch of people that love it the same way as I do. Last takeaway from NBA athletics is really just the support. I have so many great memories from away games at football games and basketball games, like storming the field at BA. I think it was a junior year. And then I remember the seniors on the varsity hockey team my freshman year standing up and saying that all the freshmen and everybody needed to go to the football game, because when the hockey players go to the football game, the football players will come to the hockey game later in the year. And that support is just such a great example of the community of NBA athletics. And that was really true. They always come out and supported us, and we're really thankful. Even at baseball, it's a sport that doesn't get a whole lot of crowds, but I remember all the lacrosse players coming over after their practice and trash talking the guy in the on deck circle for the other team, and it was so much fun to sit on the field and watch that happen and watch them get upset, and just know the lacrosse guys are loving it up in the stands. Just lastly, it's been an honor to share the field and share the ice with all of my teammates, and it's been really, really fun to watch all of you guys do what you guys love on your fields and have fun with your friends like I did. And so thank you guys for such an experience.
Hello, I'm Hedges Hayworth. I'm a senior at NBA, play football and lacrosse. And Coach Tips kind of asked me to talk about what my sports experience at NBA has been like. And I just want to say right off the bat, it's been the most enriching experience, the greatest experience. It's given me some of my best friends in the whole world, and I wouldn't change a thing about what's happened. And it really gave me my identity about myself and gave me a confidence I didn't have when I came into NBA, not because of like athletic ability or anything, but just because I got to know people and I became so close and went through so much with all these guys who are now my best friends. And so when I got to NBA, I was new as a freshman. I didn't know very many people, or I knew a good amount of people, but I didn't have very many close friends. Didn't really know who I was. And so main reason I played freshman football was for that summer of workouts, I'd get to know people. And my mentality back then was just, I hate this. This sucks. Woke up every day and felt like I was going to puke. And I just didn't enjoy it, didn't take advantage of it. And then, but after the season, I decided, I was like, I'm going to give varsity a shot. I think I'm going to play one more year. And that was such a great decision. And my mentality kind of switched because I got some more friends my freshman year, started to know people. And then, but that sophomore summer is when I became so close with so many people. And I just remember like seeing the guys lead. In varsity, you go 4 days a week and you're really part of the team. And just being a part of something bigger than yourself was incredible. And I got to know a bunch of older guys. And it became the message that I got. Somebody said it on our last day, called Big Red Fun Day. It's the last summer workout. Go to the lake and you do this little jog, and Coach Brock takes you out and he says some words, and then he just leaves, and he's like, just talk to him. And players just talk and give you advice. And somebody said, he's like, he said, I was thinking about quitting football because I had 2 dislocated shoulders. And the doctor told me I shouldn't play. My parents told me I shouldn't play. But then I thought about like what it means to me. And he said, up until this year, when I woke up at 5:30, I used to dread coming to school to work out, to do these workouts. But he said, and I'll remember this forever, he said, but then I started thinking about I get to spend 3 hours with my best friends. And that completely changed my whole outlook. And it was the same thing with lacrosse. My freshman year, I was on varsity, some other guys, and never played or anything really, but I got to see leadership, got to get to know some older players. And the other freshmen who I played with, I became really close with those guys, and especially the guys who I played football and lacrosse with the last 3 years, just always being on the same team. It made us so close. And as cliche as it is to say about things like belt buckle, guys who are like kind of too cool for school never admit that school's given them much, but at belt buckle we all look at each other and like we've gotten so much closer. And the thing about sports, you get something from sports that you don't get from just sitting around, or there's great things to do besides sports, but there's nowhere else in life where you're just pushing yourself with other people and you're in pain and you got to push through pain. You got to compete, and it's bigger than yourself. And when you do school, it's kind of it's all me. And I guess kind of kids today, the mentality of my generation is me. But when you get on a team, it's everyone, it's all of us. And this year, everybody knows we started out 1-3, and that was super hard, and that sucked. I remember I was like, what the heck is wrong? And we had one of the coolest things that's ever happened in my whole career, or about just my whole life, was we were all texting, some seniors, and we were like, we're going to have a players-only meeting. And we had this players-only meeting. Guys poured their hearts out, and I cried. But it wasn't because we were 1-3. It's because of what it means, what these people mean. And I would never trade my experiences at NBA playing sports for anything in the world, because that's what made me who I am. And I love it. And you should play sports. Even if you think you're never going to step foot on the field, you need to play, because it's bigger than winning and losing. It's what you get can never be taken away. And I firmly believe that. And I know everybody else who I've played with would say the same thing about their sports experiences. Yeah.
The only time I ever played football at NBA was in 7th grade, and since it's a fall sport, that meant that we had summer practices, and I hated those practices with a passion. I would have done anything just to have gotten out of one. It was the summer. I'm sure there were a million things I'd have rather been doing than standing around in a field with a helmet and pads. But anyways, when it was the next summer, the summer before 8th grade year, I had to decide whether or not I wanted to stay playing football or to try something else. And I ended up deciding to try something else, and I went out for the cross-country team. What I'm not trying to convey by saying that is that you should give up on something if it ever gets difficult or uncomfortable. What I am trying to say is that in athletics, it's always a good thing to put yourself in a position where you can grow. I know that if I had stayed playing football, I probably wouldn't have found the same consistent happiness that I did find in cross country. Maybe I would have been a better football player than I am a runner. Probably not. It doesn't really matter. Not liking the thing that you do is a pretty miserable living. But the good thing for us is that at NBA, there were a lot of things to try out. I've got a few friends who play sports that I didn't even know existed until I got to NBA. And if I'm being completely honest, I did not know that we had a shotgun team until about halfway through high school. Long story short, there was no lack of things to try out. And if I had to give a piece of advice to any 7th grader about athletics at NBA, it'd be to try something new. It doesn't really matter how bad you are at something as long as you enjoy it. But for us seniors who've run out of time to try new things at NBA, especially, we're in a weird spot, especially those of us who play spring sports. We won't have a senior night or state championship or even another practice. And I know that we've all heard a million times that it's the small things that matter, the bus rides, hanging out in the locker rooms. Well, we won't even get to do that again. And that all sounds bad, but what I hope comes out of this is that it makes our teams and even our grade as a whole just a little bit closer. I also hope that this will make us all more inclined to be open to new things in the future, because we know now more than ever that you never know when the last time you're going to do something with a certain group of people is. So I'd like to finish this off by thanking our parents who drove us to practice, even if we didn't want to go. I'd like to thank our trainers who kept us healthy. I'd like to thank our grounds crew who kept our facilities safe and some of the best in the state. And then lastly, I'd like to thank our coaches/teachers who sacrificed their time so that we all could play the sports that we loved. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Mark Tipps. I'm the athletics director here at NBA. Listening to Brennan and Hedges and Jack talk just a moment ago reminds us of why we play sports. We play to develop friendships. We play to develop relationships with each other. We struggle and we strive and we sweat with those people who are closest to us. And those guys are our teammates. And in the process of doing that, we learn a lot of valuable lessons. We learn confidence. We learn how to build character. We learn persistence and we learn diligence. And ultimately, I think if you boil it down, we play sports because it teaches us how to deal with life's successes. It also teaches us how to deal with life's great disappointments. I normally say when I'm giving this talk that if you haven't suffered a great disappointment, a crushing disappointment, just wait, you will. But I know, given the situation that we're all in, and particularly you guys as seniors, you're suffering one right now. This is a difficult time for everybody in this country and in this world. It has been as difficult a time as I've seen in my lifetime, and you may need to go back to World War II to see our country struggle like this. So I know that it's been hard, but I think there's some good that can come out of this. If the reason we play is to be able to handle these types of situations, you going through this may accomplish that even more quickly and more readily than if you had played all of your games. And what I'm trying to say to you is, I think that you guys as a class, the class of 2020, will be closer, you'll be tougher, you'll be more resilient, you'll be more patient, you'll be more empathetic than the classes that have ever come before you. And in that respect, you may be the most important class to come out of MBA. I think all of you are going to learn some incredible qualities having dealt with this situation, sort of like being forged like steel in a crucible. And I think that coming out of this class is going to deliver to us a lot of people who will be great leaders. Leaders at the local and community level, at the state level, and even at the national or world level. And I really believe that. So there is some good that can come out of all the negative, and I want you to seize onto that good. Parents, we appreciate you sharing your boys with us. We love them. Know this has been a difficult time for you as well. You wanted to watch them perform this spring, and it's been hard not being able to do so. But they've been great kids. We're going to miss them. Guys, you're welcome back anytime. We want to see you on campus. We want to see you at sports events. So stay close to us, stay safe, and we'll be in touch with you soon. Take care.